14 months ago, the battle between Carlos Maza and Steven Crowder started, and while it has been a long battle from YouTube defending and then throwing Crowder under the bus, to Carlos Maza completely exploding on social media multiple times, as of today, YouTube has officially reinstated Steven Crowder's monetization. So if you don't know what happened, 14 months ago, Steven Crowder had made some comments about Carlos Maza in a video, saying that he was a lispy queer and a gay Latino. And these definitely are not comments or jokes that I would make towards someone else, but YouTube's stance on this was absolutely disastrous. Because when the complaints about his videos were first made, they had said that his videos were maybe harmful, but his comments did not violate any of the platform's policies. And then, of course, after a little bit of social outrage, hours later they decided to suspend Crowder's monetization for a pattern of egregious actions that harmed the broader community. So today, I wanted to read through this Business Insider article about Crowder's remonetization, make a few points, but also talk about how Carlos Maza, someone who uses YouTube actively and actively uploads content to it, is calling for creators to speak against the same platform that he's on. So YouTube restores Steven Crowder's ability to make cash from videos a year after the conservative star was accused of homophobic harassment. Conservative YouTuber Steven Crowder can again make cash from ads running against his videos, a year after having his monetization suspended. Crowder's ability to enable paid ads was suspended on June 5th, 2019, after a progressive journalist, Carlos Maza, called him out for homophobic harassment. A YouTube spokeswoman confirmed to Business Insider on Thursday that Crowder's monetization has been restored, adding that if there are any further violations on this channel, we will take appropriate action. Crowder is a former Fox News contributor and a high-profile conservative figure. He bills his YouTube channel as the #1 conservative late-night comedy and has more than 4 million subscribers. And Carlos Maza is a former journalist with Vox and is popular for his commentary on media and progressive policy. He is Latino and openly gay. So Maza is now saying that YouTube has incentive to keep hate speech on their platform. Maza, who has since left Vox to post solo videos on YouTube, on Wednesday criticized the site's decision to restore Crowder's ability to make money from video advertisements. He wrote on Twitter, "YouTube has reinstated Steven Crowder into its partner program, meaning they will once again allow him to monetize his videos. Demonetizing was already insufficient, but this decision proves that YouTube has no real interest in enforcing its anti-hate policies." And he added that YouTube has a tremendous profit incentive to keep hate speech on the platform. See, this is the problem with Carlos Maza's stance on the situation, is that nothing was ever good enough for him. He wanted to deplatform Steven Crowder completely. He literally even admits here that even though his channel was mass demonetized, it wasn't enough for him. And this is a huge problem with people on social media, is that no one forgives even after they've paid the price for doing something. Now, I don't agree with everything that Steven Crowder says, but did we literally forget what free speech is? He didn't call for anyone to attack Maza. He didn't call for anyone to say anything threatening to him. He literally made a few distasteful comments and that was it. I mean, after mass demonetization, he could have continued going after Maza, but he didn't. Carlos Maza has made himself a public figure. He's creating YouTube videos and he's running a Twitter and has a Patreon that he is making money from. And when you're on the internet, people are going to say things that sometimes you don't like and that sometimes you might be offended by. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. It's just that simple. But then during Carlos Maza's rip and tear about how bad YouTube is for allowing his remonetization, he calls for YouTube creators to not support YouTube anymore. And I think that it's perfectly fine to voice how you like or even dislike YouTube's policies and their enforcement of said policies, but he is clearly saying he's got many issues with YouTube, yet he creates content on the platform. He said YouTube will not meaningfully change its policies so long as it can lure advertisers with high engagement numbers. Creators should refuse to participate in company promo materials, speak publicly against the platform at every opportunity, and support a creators union. YouTube has spent years actively promoting white supremacist and transphobic content. It's the largest radicalization engine on the planet. It is bonkers that journalists continue to act as if this is a moderation failure, when it's actually YouTube's entire business strategy. If you really dislike their policies and how they enforce them, that's perfectly fine, but if it's just so disgusting and outrageous, maybe this isn't the platform for you, and maybe you shouldn't support the system that you're saying is so terrible. I mean, it looks pretty damn shallow. Honestly, it really looks shallow. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. As you can see, Carlos Maza is extremely upset on social media, and he is voicing it. But, of course, I really hope that YouTube doesn't flip-flop with their policies like this ever again, and congratulations to Steven Crowder for getting his remonetization. But if you enjoyed this video and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like and share it. And of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.